unfolding in perfection. Let me tell you something powerful. Every waiting season has a hidden reward. The person who waits with the faith receives not only the blessing, but also the wisdom to sustain it. Waiting matures your spirit. It teaches you to value what you receive. When the answer comes, you will cherish it because you know what it cost in faith, patience, and tears. You will handle the blessing with humility because you remember the pain of the process. You will guard it with reverence because you understand it came through divine mercy. There is something sacred about trusting God in the dark. When everything around you is uncertain, and yet you say, God, I still trust you, the universe shifts. The energy of faith draws divine favor. The unseen responds to the unshaken heart. God moves through belief that refuses to die. Your faith becomes the bridge between your waiting and your miracle. Even if it's just a whisper of hope, hold on to it. That small spark of faith is enough to ignite a transformation you cannot yet imagine. You see, God does not need your help. He needs your trust. Stop trying to figure everything out. Stop trying to force doors open. Stop trying to control what only God can command. The reason some people are exhausted is because they are trying to do divine work with the human hands. Let go of the obsession with the outcomes and focus on obedience. Your job is to trust. God's job is to act. When you do your part, He will do His, and His part is always greater. When you wait with the peace, you declare that you believe in the wisdom of a divine timing. You are telling the universe, I know my time will come because my life is under God's control. That calm, unwavering faith is not weakness, it is power. Because peace in waiting is the proof of maturity. It shows that your trust has graduated beyond emotion. You no longer panic when life pauses because you understand that God is still operating even in stillness. Sometimes God makes you wait because He wants to show you that He can bless you without your effort. He wants you to see that His power does not depend on your performance. The moment you surrender the outcome, He steps in. As long as you hold the steering wheel, He stands back. But when you release it and say, God, have your way, that's when miracles begin to unfold. Because faith is not control, it's surrender. And surrender is the language heaven understands. When you finally receive what you've been waiting for, it will make sense why God took so long. You look back and see that if He had answered earlier, the foundation would not have been ready. The people you needed to meet were not yet in place. The lessons you needed to learn had not yet been learned. Every delay was divine timing, shaping a perfect outcome. The waiting was not empty, it was pregnant with purpose. When you walk through the valley of waiting, your mind will be tested, your heart will be stretched, and your patience will be purified. You will question the purpose of your delay and the silence of heaven. But remember, this God is not punishing you. He is perfecting you. Waiting is not about standing still. It's about growing deeper. It's about learning to breathe faith when everything around you screams uncertainty. Waiting is where your inner strength is formed, where your roots grow strong enough to carry the weight of the blessing that's coming. You see, God does not give ordinary blessings to those who carry extraordinary callings without first refining their spirit. The deeper your calling, the longer your preparation. The higher your destiny, the greater the discipline required. Some people are rushing to doors that God has not unlocked yet, trying to force entry through human effort, but God will not allow you to enter a place your spirit cannot sustain. That is why He keeps you waiting, not because He's cruel, but because He's careful. God is careful with His chosen ones. He would rather delay your success than let success destroy you. Sometimes the greatest act of love from God is not what He gives, but what He withholds. What He withholds is often His protection in disguise. If you only knew what dangers He prevented, what disasters He delayed, what betrayals He blocked, you would thank Him for every unanswered prayer. You would praise Him for every closed door, for every person who walked away, for every plan that failed. Because sometimes what doesn't happen is the greatest miracle of all. Waiting forces you to confront what you truly believe about God. It reveals whether your faith is dependent on evidence or anchored in conviction. When everything around you contradicts your prayer and yet you still say, God, I trust you, that is when your faith becomes unbreakable. True faith is not proven by what you receive. It is proven by what you endure while you receive nothing. God uses waiting to separate the superficial believer from the surrendered believer, the one who seeks results from the one who seeks relationship. When you are waiting, it may feel like your life has been placed on hold, but in reality, you are in the most important chapter of your story, the chapter of becoming strong, becoming wise, becoming spiritually grounded. God is more interested in who you are becoming than in what you are receiving. Because when your inner life matures, every outer blessing will naturally align. God is shaping your identity so that when the blessing comes, it will not change you, you will change it. There is a mysterious beauty in the way God works. He doesn't show you every detail because the unknown keeps you dependent. If He knew how everything would unfold, you would no longer need faith. So He conceals what your mind cannot yet handle and reveals what your heart is ready to receive. That is why the waiting season feels like walking in fog. You can only see the next few steps. But that is enough, because faith was never meant to see the entire path. Faith was meant to trust the one who designed it. Do not let impatience convince you that God has forgotten. Impatience is the thief of destiny. It rushes what was meant to ripen, and anything that grows too fast will not last. God takes time because He builds to last. The blessing that comes too early will break you, but the one that comes on time will establish you. So, when it seems like nothing is happening, remind yourself something divine is developing, something sacred is maturing, and something powerful is on its way. The waiting season is where warriors are made. It's where you learn to fight, not with a fist, but with faith. It's where you learn that peace is not the absence of waiting, it is the ability to trust while you wait. God wants you to have a peace that is not tied to progress. He wants you to rest in the knowledge that He is working even when you see no signs of it. The world teaches you to panic when things stall, but God teaches you to praise in the pause. Because the pause is not a problem, it's a preparation. There will come a day when everything you waited for will arrive all at once. The doors will open, the opportunities will flow, and the pieces will fit. You will be overwhelmed by the speed of divine acceleration. But when that day comes, you will realize that the waiting season was not a waste. It was the reason you could handle the blessing. The waiting season built your endurance, purified your motives, and deepened your trust. Without that process, the blessing would have crushed you. Waiting teaches you the rhythm of heaven. The rhythm of heaven is not hurry, it's harmony. God does not rush because He knows everything happens in perfect alignment. You may want to sprint ahead, but God moves at the pace of purpose. Every step, every moment, every delay is part of a rhythm orchestrated by divine wisdom. If you could hear the melody of your life from heaven's perspective, you would see that nothing is offbeat. Every note has meaning. You must understand that God's timing is not slow, it's strategic. Every second is synchronized with the divine precision. You may think you're late, but in truth, you are right on time according to the eternal clock of purpose. God will never let you miss what belongs to you. If it's truly yours, it will wait for you. If it passes, it was never meant to stay. Stop grieving what God has removed. Start preparing for what He's about to reveal. Even in your pain, God is present. Even in your confusion, He is consistent. He is working through details you cannot yet interpret. The silence of today is the preparation for the sound of tomorrow. When the appointed time comes, what was quiet will suddenly shout. What was hidden will suddenly shine. What was delayed will suddenly deliver. Because when God decided the moment has come, no power on earth can stop what He has planned for you. Sometimes God delays your promise because He is preparing others who will be part of it. He may be molding someone who will walk into your life at the exact moment you need them. He may be orchestrating a chain of events in another city, another heart, another circumstance, all converging toward your destiny. So while you wait, understand this: you are not waiting alone. The entire universe is aligning for your appointed time. The beauty of trusting God is that you no longer need to understand everything. You just need to remain faithful. Understanding can fail, but faith never fails. Faith says, I don't see it, but I believe it. I don't feel it, but I know it's real. That kind of a faith moves the unseen. It opens doors that no key can unlock. It turns impossibility into manifestation. When your heart beats with unwavering trust, heaven responds with unstoppable favor. Do not let delay make you doubt. Delay is not defeat. Delay is the birthplace of destiny. Some of the most powerful moments in your life will come after the longest seasons of waiting, because waiting deepens appreciation. It transforms entitlement into gratitude. When you finally receive what you've been praying for, you won't just take it, you'll treasure it. You'll handle it with wisdom, honor, and humility, because you understand the cost of a faith that carried it to you. So when you find yourself weary, remember this: even when you can't trace His hand, you can trust His plan. Even when you can't see His movement, you can rest in His presence. God has not forgotten you. The silence is not rejection, it's incubation. Your destiny is incubating under divine heat. And when the time is right, it will emerge in full strength, bursting through every barrier that once held it back. Lift your eyes beyond what you can see. Look through the lens of faith. The story is not over. The chapter of fulfillment is being written even now. What you are waiting for is not lost. It is in progress. God is crafting every detail with precision. And when it arrives, it will not just meet your expectations, it will exceed them. Because God never gives you what you imagine. He gives you what your spirit was born to receive. Keep believing, keep waiting, keep trusting. Because the God who planted the vision in your heart will also bring it to pass. His timing is perfect, His plan is flawless, and His promise is sure. He is not just working on what you asked for. He is working on what you are waiting for, shaping it into something beyond your comprehension. And when that day comes, you will not only thank Him for the answer, you will thank Him for the wait. So now, as you stand in the middle of your waiting season, lift your eyes to the heavens and remember, nothing in your life is stagnant when God is involved. Every moment of waiting is divine motion in disguise. What feels delayed is actually being delivered through a higher process that your human eyes cannot yet comprehend. The silence is not punishment, it is protection. The pause is not neglect, it is perfection in progress. God is not slow. He is strategic. He is weaving threads of destiny so intricately that when it all comes together, you will be in awe of how every tear, every disappointment, and every delay was essential to the masterpiece He was creating. Do not grow weary. This season is not your end. It is your preparation for the unfolding of something magnificent. The waiting has been your classroom, the stillness your teacher, the silence your purification. When the appointed time arrives, you will not simply receive the blessing, you will become the blessing. You will embody strength, endurance, and divine confidence. You will carry the fragrance of someone who has been refined by waiting and touched by divine wisdom. There will come a day when you will look back and say, if I had not waited, I would have never become who I am now. You will see that the delay was the doorway, the stillness was the strategy, and the waiting was the womb where miracles were formed. What you thought was God's absence was actually His greatest work. Because God does not rush creation, He perfects it. So hold your peace, breathe in faith, rest in patience, for even now, in this very moment, while you are waiting, God is working. He is arranging people, opening unseen pathways, and preparing blessings beyond what your imagination can contain. And when it comes, and it will come suddenly, beautifully, powerfully, and perfectly. You will understand that every moment of silence was sacred, every second of delay divine. Therefore, wait with faith, not fear. Wait with confidence, not complaint. Wait knowing that the same God who planted the promise is faithful to fulfill it. Your waiting is not empty, it is alive with a purpose. Your faith is not forgotten, it is being recorded in the realm of eternity. And soon, when the time is right, what you prayed for, cried for, and believed for will stand before you as proof that God was working all along